This man trains so intensely at arm wrestling that forget defeating him, no one can even budge his hand. But can he compete against the world's most dangerous players? Watch today's story to find out. The story begins with a man named Mark who used to arm wrestle in Korea, but nowadays he was working as a guard at a club in America. One day, his old friend Kim came to meet him and tried to convince him to participate in an arm wrestling competition. Mark had no interest in it, but Kim somehow managed to persuade him. Then both of them went to the competition venue, where people were placing bets on the players. The player Mark was supposed to compete against had won all his matches so far. That's why no one was willing to bet on Mark. Soon the match started, and even after much struggling, that player couldn't even move Mark's hand. Mark won the match effortlessly, and Kim also made good money. But now that player refused to accept his defeat. He started beating Kim, which brought Mark into the middle of it, and chaos erupted there because of the fight. He also lost his job. Then a week later, he got a security guard job at a shop. His ordinary life was going on, but many times he missed home a lot. Then one day, Kim called him and asked him to come to Korea. An arm wrestling competition was happening there, where the winner would get a chance to play abroad. Mark looked at his old medals and once again decided to fulfill his old dream. When Mark reached Korea, Kim came to pick him up, and both discussed business while eating. Kim wanted to become his agent and handle his business. He had complete faith in Mark. His plan was to make Mark a player, place money on him, and get rich from betting. After this, both of them roamed the city all day. At night, they went to a club, but Mark stood aside there too and started keeping watch. Then while returning to the hotel, Kim asked him if he had ever tried to find his real mother. Actually, Mark's mother had left him at an orphanage in childhood. To this, Mark said, "Look, those who abandoned me, I have no interest in meeting them." After this, Kim dropped him at the hotel. There, Mark saw a bouncing bed for the first time in his life. There was also a gift from Kim in that room. A phone came out of the box, which had his real mother's address. Meanwhile, Kim met an extremely wealthy gangster named Yo and asked to place money on Mark. First, he was hung upside down for talking to Yo without permission, but when Yo saw Mark's video, he agreed to bet on him. However, he had one condition. Mark would have to lose or win according to his orders. The next morning, Mark reached that address according to the phone's map. Before knocking on the door, he met two children who thought he was a monster seeing his huge body. So that the children wouldn't get scared, he left without saying anything. Those children then told their mother Sumi about this strange man. They looked out the window and saw Mark going back. Sumi ran a clothing shop that was running at a considerable loss. She also had to return a lot of money to Gangster Yo, who kept showing up to harass her. That day, Sumi saw Mark and Yo going to the mall's club together. Actually, Kim had brought Mark to meet Yo. There we also see Chong, a spoiled rich kid. He was Yo's partner and placed the most money in betting. Then Mark showed his skill by defeating a huge man. Because of this, Mark and Kim got a luxurious room in a 5-star hotel. Just then, Kim received Yo's message that Mark had to win the first match tomorrow but lose the second match. Now Kim was afraid that Mark wouldn't agree to this. They both went to eat, and Kim asked him to lose the second match. However, Mark agreed without any problem. The next morning, Sumi was preparing the children for school. Her son Joe was afraid that the monster would come again, but Sumi said that maybe she knew Mark. When the children left, she took out old photographs and saw that there was a picture of Mark with her mother. The children spotted Mark outside, and Joe even threatened to call the police on him. Then we see that Yo had called Korea's strongest arm wrestler, Combo, to test Mark's capability. There was a huge crowd, and Mark easily defeated the elephant-like 7-foot man in the first match. Combo was quite impressed by this too. Sumi had also come there to see Mark. During the break, Yo started forcing himself on her because Sumi hadn't returned his money. Mark saw all this too, and when the second match started, he deliberately won to show Yo down. When Yo started throwing his weight around, Mark pushed him. Poor Kim got busy calming down both Mark and Yo. When he found out that all this happened because of Sumi, he went to meet Sumi the next day. Just then, Yo also arrived and beat up Kim. Suddenly, Mark intervened and fought Yo's goons alone. After a while, the police came and arrested Mark and Kim. To get Mark released, his ID was needed, but his bag and passport had been lost in the previous match. After this, he proved to the police by arm wrestling that he was indeed a player, but they still didn't let him go. Then Sumi arrived there. Somehow she had found Mark's passport. Then it was revealed that Sumi was Mark's stepsister, and his mother had actually passed away a year ago. Hearing this broke Mark's heart. The children also asked him to come home and stay. "Uncle, uncle, come home with us, uncle." Only Sumi's daughter June played with him, and son Jun Huang talked to him a lot. Meanwhile, outside the house, some street boys were smoking smoking cigarettes. Even after Sumi refused, they didn't leave, but as soon as Mark appeared in front of them, everyone ran away with their tails between their legs. The next day, Yo's men came to collect money from Sumi. At that very moment, Mark was leaving the house so that he wouldn't be a burden on Sumi. He also chased away the goons, but then he decided to stay there. For the next few days, the whole family enjoyed delicious food, outings, and fun together. For Sumi, managing work along with the children was quite difficult. Her whole house was filled with clothes. One day when she came home, she saw that everything was completely clean. On top of that, Mark also took very good care of the children. On the other hand, Kim was spending days in poverty. Then seeing Mark with the children gave him an idea. Why not earn some money by showing Mark's sad story? Mark also agreed to this. After this, Mark was going out with his family. On the way, he saw Combo playing. Mark challenged him and won, becoming everyone's favorite. Within just a few weeks, the story of his sad childhood and struggles spread across the country. It became so famous that Mark and Kim made decent money. Now the children started considering Mark their hero. One day while going to school, they heard a woman bad-mouthing Mark. In return, Juhi said, "My uncle is a very amazing player. Shut up, old woman, or I'll make you bald." Mark promised her that he would win the country's biggest competition. Then we see Kim's father, who worked very hard despite being old. Kim wanted to earn so much money so that he could give his father a good life. One day, Jun Huang showed Mark the emails that Mark's mother used to write every day. Actually, she regretted a lot that she had sent her son Mark to an orphanage. The poor woman kept writing emails her whole life, but that address wasn't Mark's at all. She had written that when Mark was with them, life was very difficult. They didn't even have money to feed Mark, and she wanted her son to live a good life, so she sent him to an orphanage with a heavy heart. Even before dying, her last wish was to meet Mark and ask for forgiveness. Mark also found out that Sumi wasn't his stepsister. When Sumi's parents died, Mark's mother took care of her. Hearing this news, Mark was stunned and also got angry at Sumi. A few days later, they were all going to his mother's grave. On the way, Mark said a lot of harsh things to Sumi for lying. He had now decided to go back to America. Then Kim tried to stop him because the competitions were starting in a week, but Mark angrily told him, "Hey, you just shut up. You just want to make money by using my talent." Meanwhile, Combo was busy preparing for the competition with great enthusiasm. Gangster Yo had also prepared a goon named Kane. Kane had mercilessly broken the bones of everyone he had arm wrestled with. Mark also wasn't leaving any stone unturned in his preparation before the tournament. Finally, the day of the competition arrived. The children were at home when they saw that they had forgotten to return Mark's medal. Both of them immediately caught a bus and reached the competition venue. After a while, when Sumi got this news, she also rushed to the children. After this, the competition started. Kane, Mark, and Combo were all in different groups. They defeated everyone in their groups and reached the semi-finals. Kane mercilessly broke several hands and reached the final. Millionaire Chong and his men bet all their money on Kane, but seeing Mark's skill, they felt their money might sink. So Chong threatened Yo to make Kane win somehow. Then Yo gave Kim $200,000 and said Mark had to lose to Combo in the semi-finals. As always, Kim's tongue watered, so he took the money and went straight to Mark. But Mark flatly refused to lose. Kim said these dollars could change his entire life, but for Mark, the promise made to his niece was far more important. Finally, he had a tough match against Combo and won. Meanwhile, during the break, Yo caught Kim and broke his bones a little, but Mark knocked out those goons one by one. Now Kim also gave up the greed for money, and he encouraged Mark to win with all his heart. Now began the final match, for which everyone's breath was held. Then Kane cheated, causing Mark's hand to slip. He tried to hurt Mark by pulling his thumb very hard. Now Kane was about to win any moment when Mark's eyes fell on his nephew and niece, who were looking at him with hopeful eyes. Suddenly, new enthusiasm filled the children's uncle, and he defeated Kane in one move. Finally, Mark said on TV that he loved his mother very much. Every person present there had tears in their eyes from his victory.